Match breakdown.
In the immortal words of Mr. Sanakist, this series is already awesome. We thoroughly enjoyed that first map. Can't wait to see what happens in game number 2. N8 Dreams are alive and well here at ESL One New York, with Liquid taking the opening map. And Jen's back with both of you, not with Lurpis, but this time with Sponge and Thorin.
Thank you for having me back. I would definitely be calling JDM Daddy after that performance.
What a performance from that man. We've given him a bit of a hard time. Duncan in particular, I know, has been quite harsh on him at times for whiffing a few shots here and there. Right, yeah. Not just in this tournament, but in the last couple. But my goodness, that was a standout performance.
Just look at where he's come from, right? When he was in the CLG days, he was just doing his own thing and he was putting up big numbers. But then it's been such a long period of time before getting back to this kind of form. If he can play like that consistently, this guy's nuts.
Yeah. I mean, where do we start? 42 for 26. All right, there's double overtime in there. Nice. 101.2 damage with your most damage of any player in the game. On top of that, multiple 3Ks. Either on the retake or surviving inside the bomb site as
10
well.
10 opening kills with AWP.
I mean, it's just insane. How do you give MVP to anyone else for that map?
Well, the thing is,
Cold was pretty close.
Exactly,
yeah,
right?
That's the only other bright light for SK, wasn't it?
You're in a server, right, with Cold Zero, who's also dropping 40, putting the rest of your team on his back for the majority of that game, at least, you know, the regulation, and then he's still going to top, like, I think 5 out of the 6 main stat categories. That's just a huge performance. JDM had a blistering game. You know, obviously Twist early supplemented a few of the issues for Liquid, but it was just JDM there in the end getting it done.
I want to talk about Twist because you raised the point very rightly that inexperienced, very young, out on the stage for the first time. Did fine, didn't he? No nerves.
Here's the thing.
It doesn't look like he's got nerves anyway.
For the first half, he's doing very well. But if he'd been the sole star of this team and they had to rely on him, they would have lost this game right now. Cold Zero would have taken over. They'd have won the game. SK Gaming, it would have been like business as usual. But that's the thing. When Twist's kind of like fell back a little bit. I mean, he's playing a pretty hard entry role, so he had some tough situation to get put in. Then suddenly, Elijah was the one getting them all. JDM was there pretty much the whole time. This was a true team effort from Team Liquid. I mean, think about Nitro as the leader. He's entering as the leader. He's doing a great job. So, Stanislaw, I mean, admittedly, he had some moments that were a little bit questionable. I think they could have ended the game earlier on some of those CT setups, but he did some kind of weird moves. I feel like he's actually, obviously, he's the man who's had to switch from being game leader. He's still kind of figuring out his role within the team because he's switching back over to that kind of lurking role. He's a little bit off, but I actually think SK had no business being in this game, and I realized that they almost won it, but that's purely because of Cold Zero. I mean, Fur really looks like the odd man out on that team at the moment. He's really struggling.
We can dive a bit deeper into that and why that possibly is. It used to be Fur and Fallen playing over towards that B side, right?
They made that switch, right?
Yeah, and they used to be more aggressive on Banana. They actually used to contest it. Here, you just see them getting executed on time and time again, and Fur and Phelps, I guess 9 out of 10 times, were just getting overwhelmed. Molotov'd out of position. There's only a few times where they played those situations correctly. Otherwise, it just felt like it wasn't those two players. We've been hyping them up about being aggressive. They will look like they're on the leash, mate. They weren't getting anything done towards that side of the map. And I think Fallen should have made the read or made the call to put him back over there, put Phelps back over towards the A side, because not only that, sure, Cold Zero was putting up huge numbers, right? He was doing amazing on that CT side. That ace from the pit was phenomenal. The issue is, it's displaced Taco. Taco used to be the balcony pit player. So now Cold Zero's taken that. Taco looks out of place playing quad and sight. There was some really questionable crossfires by them.
Yes.
Fallen's making some terrible decision-making towards middle. He got like a couple of opening picks and then repicks, and then he just had weird timings where he'd get flushed off the line, he'd want to fall back, then he'd recommit and he'd get caught with his pants down. It wasn't until we got to the end of that regulation that Fallen started getting in the groove, and it was like, with all these players just seemed out of place. If you whack Fallen back over towards B, you bring Phelps over to quad side, Taco does his comfortable thing, because you want to give a player like Taco a comfortable position. You don't want to make him work for it. Cold Zero playing the arch side, he still would have had a phenomenal game, you know? So I think if SK adjusted there in overtime, they would have closed that out. I think that's one of the issues for
I do want to clarify, though. This was not just because Team Liquid blew a couple of the match points, you know, and they had to keep going to overtime. It's not in any way like the old story of them choking it, Sarah, because they never choked any of those rounds away. What happened was Cold Zero literally won a couple of rounds by himself entirely.
Didn't he?
And what happened is Team Liquid did exactly what they've done throughout this entire tournament. They just keep putting themselves back in a position. They were always leading all the time in the game. They were always the ones to reach the map point. They were always the ones where it was either overtime or they win the map.
I mean,
so
this
all
the
they did, obviously this is bonkers stuff. All they did all game long was put themselves in fantastic situations again and again. And when you consider Konzo doesn't play this position, this is outrageous stuff, you know. This is like Zipnik's in Astralis, where he always knows the angles.
This ace right here, there's so much thought's gone into this. He's whacked that smoke down, preempting the Molotov, because he's already taken 3. They know where he is. He knows the Molotov's coming. Whacks that in. They can't put him out of position. Grabs another 2 kills. You know, this guy was just one step ahead the entire game. But to Liquid's credit, they're legit. Like, I'm going to go as far as saying this is possibly the best North American roster ever in CSGO history. Like
I
the
mean,
way
the
that they're
streak of
looking.
maps they've had in a row now is outrageous.
Yeah.
At this tournament, just look at this one alone. There hasn't been a bad map.
Yeah.
Every single map is them in the control, them dictating the entire game, and you maybe can get back in if you play outrageously well. If like your superstar does something incredible, that's the only time you're supposed to lose in Counter-Strike if you're a really world-class team.
Yeah, Astralis did that yesterday. They had to play out their minds just to win one map against them. Just want to continue on the Cold Zero praise. I mean, not only the ace, but also that clutch. We haven't saw it in the replay, but oh my goodness, that took my breath away because you were just like, "There's no way he wins this." Duncan sat there. To his credit, we went, "He's taking it to overtime." Trust me, and we were all like, "Nah, he can't do it from. He's got no health. He's got an AWP on sight. He's got 2 men coming at him from a crossfire. There's no way he wins." And somehow, only he on this stage in a semi-final, facing Matt Point, could clutch that.
That's the best game of Counter-Strike I've seen in a long time. I was in this room with Henry and Matt while they were casting. These rounds are happening. We're jumping around. We're all going nuts. It's crazy for him to stay composed on that on a match point. 12 HP in the site. It's insane.
Yeah, all our height rates were higher than his, I think. We were all like,
people like him and him. The ones that really come to mind is him. I usually put Shocks in this category as well. Whenever they win those rounds, right, people always go like, why did that guy rush out? Like, why didn't they go together? You don't understand. Because they're so intimidating in those rounds. Everyone knows they win them. They have a killer instinct. It actually makes people make misplays more because they're thinking like, oh, if I see him facing this one, I have to rush out now. And then that's when the guy flicks around and kills you. So there's just something about them. It's almost like that magnetic, like predator-prey connection where when they're in the zone like that, it's like people just willingly come into their crosshair and they never miss, seemingly, you know. And that, I mean, that's an example of a game where Cold Zero didn't deserve to lose that one, but Team Liquid won it.
Just to wrap up on the stats, JDM 42-26, as we said earlier. Cold Zero 42-25 on the losing side.
Just insane.
I also thought as well, the guy we haven't really talked about as well is when Twists was cooling down, Elige had some massive kills towards the end there. He had some some of them early in rounds, you know, but it'd be like the key kill that would stop SK having like the numbers advantage where they could just play a site really smartly and take over. Those were like, they'll never really show up on the scoreboard. You'll never see like a highlight of that one kill, but sometimes those were big, big kills.
Yeah. Nitro as well, worth mentioning. Some of the entry kills that he got in this game as well really opened their play up. I mean, just got them into sights.
It feels like bizarrely. It's funny because when he wasn't the in-game leader, this is the role every single person that's been in Team Liquid, because I've been friends with a lot of them, we've always been telling him, we want you to be the entry, you're so good at it. And he always wanted to be this lurker role, right? Yep. Where he would sort of do what Stanislaw doing, he would sort of make reads. And I feel like he just overthought too much. He wanted to be like the smartest player, whereas you see, now that he's taken on the role of like, right, no one else can do this in our team, and I'm the in-game leader, so I kind of know what I need from the entry. Why don't I just do it myself? He's not having to have mad numbers because the kills are all impact kills. And then he knows he's got all these players who are in position behind him. They're going to close the round out. This is exactly why I agree. I think Team Liquid right now, like, this team could win the tournament if they keep going.
Yeah, and just to build on that point of being an in-game leader, entry fragger, that's one of the key things. That's what like I liked doing when I was an in-game leader, right? Is because you could feel the game, you could feel the pace of it, and you would set the tone, you know, because you have everybody else behind you. You get to choose when you want to go, and when you fill those gaps, it just makes you feel like awesome as the in-game leader, and then the reads come in, and everything's amazing. But just to build on Reed's quickly, Paul, just for one thing, it looked to me like Fallen was either in his own head that game or Liquid were in his and making him rotate around that map constantly because he got caught out of position quite a few times. I'm not sure if he was trying to think about situations too difficult because he was hitting the shots, right? When he was standing strong, he was actually hitting some really good shots.
And did you notice every time Liquid was on the CT side after their first half, they would always just stay, they would never over-rotate.
Yeah.
They would never, if they saw something at a site, rotate a man over preemptively. Yeah. Therefore, they never got toyed with, which is what happens on Inferno. They would actually say, right, if we've got the two people in the B site and no one comes B, so be it. The guys who are over at A have to hold long enough for us to come. But in doing so, that's actually very different in normal professional Counter-Strike. People are always trying to like think ahead of what the other guy's trying to do. So somehow, in this particular game, it worked really well against SK because they were trying to bait out those over-rotations and then waiting to go. They were very, very slow on their attacks.
Yeah. A week ago, the record between these two teams was 8-5 in favour of SK, which is decent.
Yeah.
It's now 8-8. It's now 8-8.
Jeez.
And 5-4 to Liquid in 2017. I don't know. Has anyone else got a winning record on maps against SK this year? Maybe Phaser
G2, I think.
Maybe
G2 is the only one I think will have one. But that's because they were famously kind of their kryptonite.
Of course. But that's a phenomenal set
of
They've now won 3 back-to-back maps
and obviously,
against SK.
Everyone knows the stereotype, because it's true, is that NA teams don't win against SK. Yeah. That's the thing. SK, that's why it's a joke. Everyone says that they play in the NA region for the easy spots because they just clean up every NA-only LAN, every online league. They're always coming like first, second seed. So if they're going to twice in a row potentially beat SK, this is big, big stuff because you can say anything about Virtus Pro not being in form. Astralis hasn't won anything in a while. SK is still the de facto number one. It was only a few months ago they win everything.
Well, yeah. I mean, you and I have had this conversation about that 2017 is probably the best year they've ever had, even though they haven't won either of those because they've won so many big tournaments this year. and probably more so than they've ever done before. So still a good year. We're going to turn our attention very shortly to Overpass as the players are just coming back from their break. This could all turn on its head very quickly, don't you?
Yeah.
We've been raving about how good Liquid were, and they were good. There's absolutely no doubt about that. It wasn't like SK played badly in this game and gave it to Liquid. They had to win this. But now it's Overpass, and I get the sense that both of you feel like this is a map that SK can't lose.
I do, but at the same time, I will say, throughout this entire tournament so far, like, whenever I've seen SK put to the test here in Mykonos, they have looked like a bunch of the parts of the team aren't working very well. Like, Fer just hasn't played well for 2 months now. Fallen, I mean, you try to think back in that game there wasn't really many like impact kills. Normally you think of him even when he doesn't do well in terms of the numbers.
He put numbers up on that one. He had
That's
36.
the weird thing though. Normally you think, you remember him winning like a clutch, winning a big round. That never really happened. He massively lost the AWP duel to JDM. So you look at the team, it's pretty much just coldzera, a bit of Phelps every now and then. So I agree, the map favours them. But if I'm Team Liquid, I'm coming into this one like, we have a shot to actually just take this.
Yeah, and you have to keep in mind they pushed Astralis all the way on their map pick yesterday, right? Like overtime on Cage, which isn't a map they play at all. This one here, they do play. You know, sure, they didn't have a fantastic result against Big. They got the win. It was a bit of a grind, but it is something that they have in their back pocket. Now, the key factors, I think, for SK, you know, being the favorite going into this one, right, is the fact that Fer and Phelps. Fer is the A player. He's very aggressive on the CT side. He's not going to have the same level of restriction on him. There's no way in the world, right? You could see Liquid on their eco rounds were waiting for him to push because that's what they know he does, and he didn't do it at all. But a map like Overpass, you can't have the same level of contingency as a map like Inferno. The choke points are a lot wider. There's so many more different places he can push. And Phelps is the rotator, so I think he's going to have a bit more freedom too. He's going to be able to push around into underpass, maybe team up with Fer a little bit more. Because on Inferno, on the CT side, their B-hole just looked lackluster. And once you get them going, once that aggression starts rolling and they feel more confident, then that's when we're going to see them activated. Just so far, we didn't see them get into the game. But I think that's one thing that's in SK's favour, and Fallen hitting shots with the AWP.
That's why we have to have Fer, though, because I think he's like the best CT Overpass player on their team. The way he controls that bathrooms area, it just means you can never get that early setup. You have to battle just for map control to get into there. So if he's off at all, and obviously at the moment his timing and his pushes have been really off, and like you said, I totally think on Inferno they did just tell him, don't ever go forward.
100%.
You're going to stay behind this line, and that's kind of like the band-aid at the moment, because we don't know how to fix what you're doing wrong, so just do this. So you can't do that if you want to win this Overpass game.
The problem is I think they maybe took that too far, right? They should have at least poised for some kind of banana control. You need a transitional defense over towards there, force that utility, don't let the T's get comfortable, because they were able to execute whenever they wanted. If JDM can out-AWP Fallen on this map, though, I'll be hugely impressed. The only person I've seen ever do that is Device, and that is just where he had that absolute blinder and just took him
studied him and knew every angle exactly.
Yeah.
You can't do it just straight up.
If he can do that, I mean, that amazing series from JDM if we see that happen.
Yeah, I mean, he's already had an amazing first map.
I think that, Paul, I'm going to go as far as saying that's probably the best game of Counter-Strike I've seen all year.
Really?
I love that.
Yeah.
I loved every minute of that game.
Well, especially as, like I say, it was never like misplays that won a key round for someone. It was always outplays. That's what you want.
Huge.
Like, someone does a great move, you do another move back, and that's why you win the round. That's why I say the key thing is it was never that Liquid choked the rounds away. What happened is that's when SK came up with magical rounds. That's when coldzera did something amazing. So then Team Liquid kept putting themselves in position again against. They never got flustered by any of these like comebacks, round wins. And then when they had their chance, and now SK didn't do something amazing, they just won the game. So that's a great sign going into this map. I do feel as though actually it should be SK as well, not just because they're down in the series, but who are a little bit shaken by that.
Yeah.
Because the amount of emotional energy you poured into trying to claw that win back, and you didn't get it in the end. And it took, like, if I'm coldzera, that's frustrating. You know, I realize he's so good he can probably reset, but. That's tough to deal with, where you're just like, come on, where's everyone else? Where's Fer? Where's Phelps? You know, we could have won this game already. That was supposed to be the map, by the way, where the storylines are. And then we did the amazing comeback. And then, you know, then we won our map. We won at the moment, it's looking like it's the other way around, right?
Can anyone else do what SK does, though? The amount of times, I know they didn't finish this one off. I know they didn't get the W. But time and time again, they pull back from these crazy scorelines where they look down and out, and then they just step up as a unit, and they just get it done. And they never look like they're out. And that's the scary thing with this team, right? They never look like they're beaten.
But that's why I worry now, though, because that's why they had that rep where the whole line a lot of us had as the narrative was like, what's SK the best at? Okay. Do they have the best players? Yeah, sometimes. Do they have the best superstar? Yeah, there's other teams that have very good superstars. We all said, I think this is the most clutch team.
Yeah.
Like, they always come through in that sort of game. So the fact that they don't, the fact they haven't in the last couple, when they played in Mykonos, those are close games as well, they were not coming through in the clutch. And so that's where you actually start to get the opposite effect in your team. Before, you felt like, the reason I can go for this crazy play is because if I don't get it, the guy behind me is going to get it. Now you start to feel like he's not. So actually, now maybe I have to play differently. Do I have to play safer? Do I have to actually Like, sometimes you're in a crossfight. He's maybe not going to get that kill. That's not what you want.
All right, good stuff. We're very excited from game number 1. We're going to head into map number 2 now. Team Liquid, are the butterflies tensioning in their stomachs from the fans? I'm sure they are as they head into...
We get ready to roll for map 2, Overpass. We said Liquid needed Inferno to force Cobblestone. That means their chances on this probably not as good, but we did see a pretty incredible back and forth affair.
Oh, yes.
Chad says the game of the year.
I think that was, I agree. It was very exciting. Double overtime there, some amazing, heroic individual plays, and I'm sure we'll see more of that as we get into map number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Liquid versus SK Gaming on Overpass. The duel needs to come out again. Stanislaw, he wants to get more frags with the double pistols. It's very rare, it's audacious, and we'll see if it works out for him as he heads towards Monster. His teammates will be with him as well, 2 of those, but it's SK going towards the connector for now.
Phelps. Quickly, the dualies last time yielded 2 kills for Stanislaw. To start off the game, he played a tight choke point of the apartments on Inferno. This time he plays toward Monster. Unfortunately for him, everyone else on SK looks to be going back toward A. In fact, they're clearing the bathrooms first, with 2 players already occupying long.
In terms of the setup, we have got 2 smokes, a couple of flashbangs to work with here for SK. They have got bathrooms control and long A as well. Molotov for post-plant, or even initiating a confrontation at the A side, but the boost from the CTs. Deep in CT spawn as a lead, looking for the 1 tap there. Certainly not a pre-fire. I don't think the CTs, or the Ts I should say, will be expecting this one. Molotov comes through, Molotovs and smokes being deployed. And Lige, though, still should have grounds to work with them.
Lige knows they're planting, but wants vision. Instead, better shot Furs. He walks up, knew exactly where the boost was. Pretty straightforward shot from down just below the fence. Considering how good that last game was, when you look back at last year's tournament, New York seems to deliver some pretty incredible moments from Counter-Strike. It's Fur trying to deliver yet another striking blow toward Liquid. Does so against Stan, but Nitro was there to trade it back. Problem is, JDM, although he has a kit, they've still got a lot of kills to find if they want to get him onto the bomb, and Nitro digged up through the edge of the wall, does still manage to find Fallen. Smoke down gives a chance for the defuse. Nitro, unfortunately, is the one left alive, though not JDM. And with 3 players left for SK, pretty straightforward win for the pistol.
Looking good, our SK Gaming, getting a lot of map control at the very start. Focused on the connector to begin, then got towards the bathrooms, long A as well, and we saw the full execution coming through. I feel like Liquid gave them a bit too much room to work with there. They went for the very passive boost in towards CT spawn, hoping Elise could at least find that opening shot. Whiffed a few bullets and then got completely wrecked close range by the Glock, and then that was the ASO open. That was the problem. Elise had to find at least 1 to make that a realistic round for Team Liquid. They will not be forced by into round number 2 here. Some upgraded pistols, some Deagles, some CZs. Twist does get body armor, but looking at it right now, this is going to be quite the simple round for SK Gaming. A bit of a blunder to give much more than a couple of kills away here. 3 UMPs, a MAC 10 for Ferb. Of course, he loves the lesser SMGs, and Taco on the AK-47.
Smoke lands bathrooms. For Fallen. Only 1. Just gets through the flames. And toward the smoke that kind of covers off where all of Team Liquid is, in fact. All of them hanging out like a group of girls go to the bathroom together. Just kidding, that's sexist. As Nitro takes back Phelps. It's Fur instead that will catch out Stanislaw. Lige and Nitro, the last 2 alive. Stack didn't really yield much. A single kill on Phelps. Does get 1 more from Lige on the Deagle. Chances of going anywhere further with the round are pretty much diminished in the fact that the bomb has gone to B, and they're already pushing through the rotations at CT. It's Taco that should be able to catch off Lige if he even elects to go back that direction.
Lige with just the Deagle here, bomb plant on the B bomb site. Not really much he can do. As I said, a couple of frags is about as good as it's going to get. And Lige with the aim punch can't do much more than that either. It will be coldzera to find the final frag. That wasn't the force by, remember, from Team Liquids. They still can get defuse kits, incendiary smokes into the first gun round, along with the JDM AWP as well. And we think that's going to be the battle to track. It's been coldzera versus JDM. Battle of the star players for either side. JDM looks absolutely fantastic. On the CT side, AWP on Inferno. Hopefully can replicate that form. I don't think they have a chance here on Overpass. I feel like this is going to be SK's map and Cobblestone. That's when we'll see another fantastic game. But I'd love to be proven wrong. If Liquid can rise to the occasion here and show us they have what it takes to go toe-to-toe with SK on a map like this, I'm more than happy to this year. Simple round, talk over this one. It will be 4 kills, make it 5 now for SK. As we get into the first gun round now. Team Liquid presumably bring out the AWP straight away. Nitro to buy the first one, throws it over to JDM though. He's got a good spawn as well, we'll follow him. JDM should be able to allow himself to get towards the top middle very quickly. Doesn't have to, but it's certainly an option.
Now the fun begins. We get into the rifles. We get into an AWP for JDM2, MAC-10s 2 UMPs, as SK try and capitalize early on the money. MAC-10. Get aggressive in toward construction position a lot, but it actually does damage on the Fur because it lands just directly above his head. So he's down 42 already. Instead, though, it's Elise that goes for the exchange, traded back by Cold.
This is a bit of a bonus situation now for SK Gaming. 4 SMGs into this round, and now with the 4 and 4, significant damage inflicted towards the T side. You can see Cold Zero down to 50 points of health. Similar story for Fur as well. But they have got short control and holding outside Monster as well. Cold Zero waiting for any sort of reaction from the CTs by the playground position. They still have all of their utility. 4 smokes, flashbangs, Molotov to work with here. It makes sense to go towards B with that sort of firepower in terms of the SMGs and the smokes available. We do upgrade Cold Zero to an M4, so that's very beneficial. Another rifle certainly helps their cause. And just to salvage a bit more utility as well. They'll head back towards B. I assume the wall of smoke comes in towards the site, towards heaven, and then flash over Molotov towards barrels, and then try and overwhelm the CTs on the other side. You can see Twists. He holds Monster. He's in the open, exposed. Stanislaw looks towards short with his M4.
Just to wait. If he holds the angle, he has to play it off of a Twist. So the 2 Canadians to hold off. Nice long shaft cylinder that goes toward the B site. Twist pops back out, takes down Taco and Phelps, but he's got company. Good response from JDM to keep Twist alive. And he gives Liquid round 1.
That was always going to be a bit of a reach there for SK. Only 1 rifle and the saved SMGs. I didn't really see them having much of a chance there, but it's fine. They just wanted to cause financial damage towards Liquid there. No bomb planted, a little bit disappointing in that respect, but they still get a full buy. And is that a Bizon coming out? What is Stanislaw doing? He's been playing with the Julies, and now the PP Bizon comes out.
If he's going to own the meme yesterday, if Thorn's going to pick on him, this is his response.
What if the worst weapon in the entire game, he brings that out to a semi-final against SK? All right, then.
Do you consider the Zeus a weapon? Is the Zeus better than the Bizon?
No, it doesn't fire bullets.
Right,
so it's more. I think that's more utility.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's interesting thought that it is utility. Either way.
Bizon. I hope it's a misbuy.
Well, yeah, again, either way, he's got it, so he'll have to do what he can with it. Position himself in the exact same position between both that of Sandbags and the entrance from Monster. JDM's close enough by the AWP. Will be there, but Stan, if he runs around the corner, he may have 60 bullets. They're more like, I think, fingernails they'll shoot up and put inside there.
Yeah.
That's about all they really shoot.
Yeah, that's true. Well, SK doing a good job, slowly but surely dissecting the map. And look at Alige. He's pushed out towards long. They haven't checked it at all, but Fur, ready and waiting. In the nick of time, he comes back and suspects that could be a possibility, and Alige drops. And there will be 30 seconds remaining. We'll end up towards the A side of the map from what I can see right now. Show a bit of presence towards B. They throw some Molotovs, flashbangs, and some smokes just to keep the rotations on that side of the map, and it's working, Matt. 3 CT players towards B. Nitro alone on the A side of the map. He's in that one and done position. Can he get anything here whatsoever? Phelps needs a check log. He might get one, but surely he gets shut down here. Just about. Phelps takes him, and that will be pretty much guaranteed round now, unless that Bizon goes absolutely wild.
Well, the Bizon's trying to flank. It's not even trying to go give itself up. So if they wanted to save it, it's not the gun to save with. He needs to go and try and get exits and then just get rid of it. He'll sneak in behind them. Bomb plant for SK. Alige now, by the way, has died twice toward bathrooms, this time without getting a single kill. Last time it was traded. But if he's going to be aggressive that much early on, they'll start to consider and predict. A Stan goes down, no surprise.
That was quite nice from SK, getting that basic map control. Like we said, once again, towards long A and middle as Alige flanked towards long. He thought he had everything worked out. Got taken down by Fur, and then that was their call to actually go back towards B through the connector. throw smokes, molotovs, flashbangs, hold the rotation that side of the map, and it works so perfectly as well. Liquid kept 3 players towards B, hoping it would work out for them. They had not much to work with at all. And SK back towards the A side. Nitro alone at long. Gets 1 kill, but discovered by Phelps. And that will be quite a harsh reset for the CT side, but they do manage to force around it. It's 2 saved weapons and the AWP coming out as well, so it's not the end of the world. Keeping money relatively strong. This is going to be Sanastor Nitro down to just CZ this time, and Fallen. He's looking up for any aggressive play towards Shaw. JDM's coming in, but he nails the shot. 5-on-4 once again. Fallen looking lively today, I have to say. This is a big round. Liquid tried to make it work at the start. They had to try and be active and find frags at the very beginning. Looking to recover the AWP, the 2 pistols now, and they can't click E on it just about. It's Stanislaw, and it's going to be Fallen close range. Oh my goodness, shutting them down. The no-scope doesn't land, and it will be Nitro to find 1 kill, but that's all he'll get.
If he had hit both of those, I would have been off the chair. Hit the floor, twist. He's going to go back toward the B site. Bomb's still down toward the tunnels. Even if he goes here, if he shuts them all down, Bomb can still go to the other side of the map. There's time enough. But either way, he's faced with the task of solo battling on the entrance. Elige gets the window just in time to give support. He's trying to get the 1-taps over top of the wall. Twist it down, it's all to Elige. Good damage on the cold. He's on 4 HP. Doesn't need to reface, just stay alive. Molotov should be able to catch him out. Gets the kill on Spray. Bomb has committed to this side of the map, even though the exchanges weren't exactly clean, but they'll get the kill in the end. And SK pick up a 6th round. Fur gets the extra money just for planting on his own.
Well, so far, SK looking very comfortable here on the T side of Overpass. Hasn't lived up to the hype of the previous map, but another Rico now for Team Liquid. Forcing the previous. They're at 2nd stage loss bonus. We need to get $1,900 per player right now. 2,400 into the next. Nothing really invested here. Will be P250s, a couple of those for Twist and Elige, and nothing really to work with at all. They'll have a little stack towards a connector, but smoked out of position. It will be Phelps to try and strike first. He needs to be careful not to graze green himself. Good HE grenade, should do some considerable damage. Not too much, actually. Just tickle Stanislaw a little bit there. And they'll fall back and wait for the smoke to subside before they go any further.
So wait. Pistols for Liquid. They won't stack bathrooms this time. They'll have 3 players there. But Stan and Elige to hold off. Inside of the stairwell. I love you too.
Hey, he's mine.
Oh, all right. Cold Zero is going to walk back out toward the party. There's not much to work for in this position. It's more Stan and Elige that can actually catch him off, because if he wants to try and push toward the bathroom position and they walk upstairs, he actually finds the boost instead. He would be pincered in, and an AK grabbed his save over at this point in time, but for the most part, Bomb heading toward B.
Should be quite easy for SK now. Finding the opening pick. Don't have to work too hard here. Phelps does bide his time and finds Stanislaw as well. It's going to be Cold Zera continuing his rampage from Inferno as well. Finding frags left, right, and center. Does get dropped by Twist eventually, but the round still in SK's favor, of course. The bomb planted towards B. SK do manage to keep 4 players alive as well. Stanislaw 0, 2, and 7. So his approach so far of dual elites, Bizon, and a couple of rifles here and there hasn't really worked out for him so far. He has had these sort of games where he just completely disappears on certain maps. It's still early days here. From the benefit of the doubt for now, JDM brings out the AWP once again, but map, no kits, limited utility. Not to say no head armor, but against the AKs and AWP, not really a huge deal. Certainly if the pistols come out, that will have a factor.
You hate that job.
Really
Every
don't like
single time as Nitro goes up with the information. Smartly, he doesn't go again. That's when I get triggered, is when someone does it 2 or 3 times. Spotted. Careful with the nades out. Taco just walks in. Free kill against Nitro. Twist gets 1 back, but unfortunately he goes down to Phelps as well. It's 2 to the price of 1. 3 down in total. Fur rotates back around to cut off rotations. His bomb's already planted. They'll try and save the AWP. At this point, only the AWP, because Elige found as well, and JDM has a long time to try and hold that gun. How aggressive does SK want to be? They can afford to be.
Oh, yes. When it's JDM, I think it's worth it. Because he can have the sort of power, like we saw in Inferno, to win rounds single-handedly. He was opening things up all over the place previously. They know where he is now. How much will they invest into trying taking him down? Bomb will explode. Round in favor of SK. Missed shot, and down he drops. 7-1. SK looking very comfortable here. We did have what Chad was calling the Game of the Year map in the previous map, and this one not really living up to that sort of expectation right now.
But that is the thing. Expectations have to be managed, and we knew SK was going to be the better team on Overpass. It's a little bit disappointing not to see Liquid show us some of that, I guess, individual heroics they had in the previous game.
I want to see the lack of respect Counter-Strike come out again.
Well, this to me that's where Cobblestone becomes a factor again. But it's a slower start for Liquid, obviously. 7-1. Potential to go 8. Oh, okay. Boost above the smoke. I thought it was going to get caught out because I was looking from the other perspective.
Oh,
exactly. JDM on the other side. I thought he was going to find that spot but he doesn't see it in time. Phelps is easily able to manage it, walks around and then sprays aim, but at least with the shot, Deagle and a chance to trade. Missed shots, coldzera. Not common we see that. It's just the one kill thus far for Liquid. As Fur walks in. Bomb toward picnic tables. We'll wait to see what further picks come their way. They know Elige was inside of the bathrooms. There's nowhere else he could have gone. So he's stuck between a rock and a hard place with Fur actually going behind him. He could have, I think, spotted him if he looked at the right time. He's watching the bank stairs instead. Either way, the flash will be sufficient. Taco takes down Elige.
Easy round now for SK. Not really giving too much away. 1 kill received. Or we twist with the CZ. Now Armor, 1 flashbang to work with him. Bomb not planted yet, but there on it goes. And it should be twist. Going down momentarily. There it is. Fur finds round rate for his team. And Liquid here, in terms of loss bonus, finding maximum now. I think the double orbs come out at this point potentially. When things get very dire indeed, that's normally when you bring that stance out. Certainly viable on Overpass. I'll have a look at the frag shots while we have this pause as well. Stanislaus, 0-9. JDM, the hero of Inferno, 2 kills, 7 deaths. And no one else really fragging. Everyone else on 5 kills. Twist, Nitro, and Elige, that is. Pretty solid team effort from the SK boys. Fallen's on 2 kills, 3 deaths, but doesn't really matter. His teammates really are finding all the shots. He hasn't really had to do too much at all. He got those 2 big frags in that 1 round, and that was enough to win it. Zeus now giving the speech to rile up his troops and see if they can get some more on the board. The high fives come in. It is the single orb setup, so not the double orb I was expecting potentially. Let's see if Stanislaus can start getting his teeth sunk into this game. 0-9 after a 0-11 performance yesterday is just not good enough. There we go.
Out. Stan, good find. His Fur is the one actually, that was found. Cold instead goes back down toward the underpass position. It's Taco on entrance. He's been very good for Monster. Tries to hit a shot, can't do it. Twist wins instead and gets away from the flames in time to survive. Molotov missed by Phelps. Slows things again for SK. So the timeout thus far working. It's still ground to find. Good shoulder bait from Phelps. Gives him the read and waits for Twist. The bait in. Oh, if he'd sprayed down both, my goodness. How good it would have been, but bomb down. Nitro to the AK instead. And they just have to hold off the monster tunnel and the round theirs.
Finally challenging our team Liquid. Actually looking for those first frags, sitting right back and giving full control to the map of SK Gaming. It was Stan who was boosting the connector, looking towards a short tunnel there. Took down the first pick, and then the round comes in their favor. Still, I guess a few more kills to find. It's a 4-on-2 situation. Bomb down though. Surely Fallen doesn't secure this for his teammates. I can't see a world of this one. So the no-scope actually landed. He can't find the kill, but it's a double. There we go for coldzera. Now he's got a situation he can win.
The no-scope landing makes it matter because the spray is able to take out 2. Cold has time as well. 33 seconds. Bomb picked up after the exchange, and Stanislaus walking out to hunt him down. Cold, not quite ready for it. Good movement by Stan. Aggressive again. And Liquid do find their second round, but only keeping 2 players alive, and this creates a reset.
Exciting stuff. coldzera managing to find a couple of kills there. Definitely keeps the money low. Lots of reset potential. You're right, the no-scope definitely helps out, but to be fair, it was a pretty solid kill regardless, and it will be CT's reinvesting now, obviously with the AWP of JDM. Twist down to the Famas. Lose this, it's a double eco territory for sure. Through the Molotov flames they go, not taking too much damage there at the SK side. We have got aggressive play towards long this time. That will be Elige, and not messing around whatsoever. Towards the playground, he dings Fallen and drops him and his AWP. coldzera will recover it, but that's a lovely start to kick things off. That's what we wanted to see, Matt. Like I said, the lack of respect is getting in their faces and finding shots.
And the problem is that Elige wanted to do so early. We mentioned it. The first 2 gun rounds, both times, he went all the way around beyond the flower pot at long. T-sided flower pot, that is. This time he gets to the corner. Fallen's waiting for him, but he gets a much, much better shot. Neot wasn't quick to react, so it's the start for Liquid that they need. They back off, they'll sit for position. In fact, Elige stays out toward long at the corner. JDM has the option. He could stay toward the bathrooms with his AWP and look for a fast shot, or he could fall to the park sign and bait Elige in and still have a chance to swing and catch off the front of the site. And I think that might be the better decision, given that if he misses one single shot toward bathrooms, he goes down, and he does that exactly that. So he's gone to the park sign. He now has a chance to play off Elige.
Still with the advantage, 40 seconds remaining now. Liquid have realized they have to get in their faces. They can't allow SK to do exactly what they want here. It's Elige in the one and done position, but backed up by JDM with the smoke deployed. Puts a lot of pressure towards Elige, and that's the problem. JDM now flashed off, can't hit the shot, and Taco punishes him for it.
That timing, he was perfectly positioned. He wanted to play off Elige, but he couldn't bait him in, and then all of a sudden the flash took him out of the equation on both sides of it, as Nitro only manages one. He rotated over to help JDM as well and couldn't get the angle required fast enough. Stan tries to spray into the smoke. That just helps Cold find him sooner.
That's going to be the round over, I'm afraid. Of Twist just with the Famas here, not really much to save. Double eco almost for sure here as we go 9-2. Save the Famas, pretty much all he can really do here. Hope to find an AK-47 if someone walks into his crosshair. That's about as good as it's going to get. This time SK Gaming in the 5-on-4 situation. Getting up towards long once again. JDM flashed, couldn't find the shot. We needed at least 1 kill from him. Not really delivering so far here, Matt. He's going to be on still 2 kills, 8 deaths, JDM. Same story for Stanislaw as well. He's 2 for 10. After finding a couple of kills, actually put them on another round. But like we said before, double eco, no choice. Could force into this one with the Famas as well. We'll see what they decide to do. And they will indeed. So, Famas, MP9, P250, CZ, Nitro picked up a second Famas as well. They would have been, like I said, double eco anyway, so might as well force up and see what they can do. We enter round number 12 here. Should be another walk in the park for SK.
Boost at the stairwell for Liquid with what weapons they have. A pistol only for Stan, that's why he's elevated Twist, because he can see toward the short tunnel. The tunnel that we call the short tunnel, that's actually longer than Monster.
Yeah, true. But it's the tunnel towards short.
It's true.
You get it? It works out?
I get it, Henry. It was... Why do you have to do that? It's very British of you.
Wow. Excuse me.
Stan tries to get aggressive. Twist does manage still to get 2 kills on the FAMAS. That's going to favor them ever so slightly moving forward, especially because Nitro has another gun, and they are, with the pistols, getting aggressive at long. The problem is they're making too much noise doing so. And Fur's able to hold off and catch JDM out.
Round 2. Did get a little bit dicey there towards Connector, but recovered by SK. 3-on-2 now. It's going to be Elige and Nitro to try and make something happen here. They've got to smoke a flashbang. SMG and a Famas as the final play. Looks like he'll be heading in towards the B-bomb site. Who's to defend is Nitro. So he has got the rifle. Hasn't been his best tournament so far, but hopefully he can step up here and actually give us a game on Overpass. They need to win this round. It was the full investment here. Certain eco if they lose this and go down 10-2.
Flashes over, Nitro looking for it, has to back off, and smartly so. That keeps him alive and gets Elige killed. Nitro as well is going to step up, and then Elige is still pursuing. Fur needs to not take the battle with Elige. It's an MP9, it doesn't have distance, so go aggressive toward Nitro instead, and Nitro holds it off. The 1-2 punch, get a 3rd round Liquid. It's a threshold, number 3, because that avoids pistol loss immediately in the second half, but it's still a long way to go.
Well, something to work with there. I didn't think they stood a chance there. Elige with the perfect flank coming in. It's the MP9 in the Famas to defend against the SK execution there towards the B side. It looked like they had done enough, but still a massive round. We needed that from Liquid just to give us a game here at least as we enter round number 13. CT's looking for the first kills. JDM certainly looking lively. As we said, he's dropped off significantly in terms of impact here on Overpass. Solid default from SK. Helps patrols towards a connector. Everyone else looking towards long A middle for any sort of CT plays that might lend themselves to the opening frag. Like we saw from Elige, pushing around, but watches it like a hawk. Fallen this time investigates towards middle. Make sure no one gets to that party area. Drops the bomb just in case he goes down. Smoke towards the path mentions. There's a little bit of room to work with him.
GDM caught by Fallen though, as he wanted to peek out and get information toward the stairs. And Liege left alone therefore inside of the bathrooms. Boost at B over the wall with Twist to support means Liege is very, very alone on the A side of the map. They're gonna rush in toward the bathroom. If they don't check this side, which naturally they will, he's got a chance, and Fur beats him on the spray down. It's the headshot from the AK that outduels the M4. In fact, the M4 hardly made contact with Fur. To be fair, Stan rotates early. He's the first on the site. No chance to spot shoulders. It does get one early. That brings Nitro back into it. As Twist gets into the one and done spot, Nitro still baiting shots out, and Twist goes aggressive. That's going to drop the bomb. Gives them yet another chance as the trade comes from Nitro. But it's a 1 versus 1 on 28. Shoulder spotted. Smart not to retaste the duel, but it's Taco that goes aggressive instead.
That's absolutely massive there. SK. And look at that round is about to fall apart as well, as they had such a clean run at the bomb site. Nice crossfires and reaction plays from the CT. Meant they actually brought it down to the 1v1. Taka, not known as the most solid fragger on the SK side, manages to outduel the final play on the CT side, and it has to be forced by again from Liquid. They can't afford to let anything else slip by. Deagles, 5-7 CZs, armor as well. A B stack from what I can see. 4 players towards this side of the map. And it'll be Stanislaw showing presence as middle as well. Goes down to 70 HP. Lucky to still be alive. It's SK looking for 12-3 to finish up the first half here. Looking likely to do so, but they have slipped up against some very awkward buys of the CTs.
Fur starts to go slowly toward the A sites. Taco over toward B. Quick flash on short. No pressure yet from Liquid as they sit triangulated to watch the entrances instead to choke points. And SK is trying their best to search every position on the map and hope to catch someone out, but no one is sitting in the open for them to do so. But it will give them, again, confidence in map control against this. A pistol round again from Team Liquid.
Well, once again, long A control and middle as well to work with here. The smoke's available. It will just be the A finish and hoping to stay together and refrag. But all 5 players for Liquid are ready and waiting with the pistols. This could be a round they could win. Mark my words, they can do this with the CZs and Deagles.
Nitro allows them to peek. Get Stan 1 kill as well, but Cold gets him back. Nitro still in the corner. He's got problems because his teammate's going down. He's got nowhere to hide from Fallen. He just has nowhere to go but death. 11th round, SK. Liquid, without much money still to fight in round 15, will buy up the MP9s, UMPs, and various pistols to try desperately to get a 4th round on the board. Remember, it was 11-4 in the first game at halftime that SK pulled back. Now, mind you, that was going back over to another map, to a CT side that was favored. This time, they're going over to the CT side with 11 rounds already.
Yeah, it's not looking good. It feels like SK have got this one tied up. We will be going to Cobblestone, especially with this final round buy of the first half. A couple of kills coming forward. It will be Fur and Stanislaw trading frags. 4-4 with a UMP picked up. They can't quite find the AK-47 on the CT side just yet. He's now lying waits. Once again, trying to dissect the map. Good work by Fallen. Takes out JDM towards the connector, but it looks like Fallen's going to be dropped here by the MP9. We've got a chance here. Stanislaw, the MP9, looking for a second. He gets it. Quiet so far, but this could be his performance we've been waiting for. And it's going to be the final kill as well. The CZ does it.
Well done, Stan. Jumps directly toward him, does Phelps, and then goes down. It's a round that they shouldn't have lost, but they do. And Liquid will take it. They need all the breaks they can get. They're down 11-4 as they swap over to the T side of Overpass. Cold Zero now sits with 56 kills over the first 2 maps, and we aren't even done map 2. Fur leads the way with 19, but on the other side of that, the other man who started this game with having already achieved 42 kills on Inferno, JDM, only achieved 2 kills in the first half. The economy was never there.
On the CT side as well, that's where he usually shines and couldn't get rolling at all. Shut down by Fallen time and time again. Fallen only got 7 kills of those orbitals there. JDM got nothing done at all. A must-win pistol now for the American side. So they'll send a bomb towards B. They have got a smoke and a couple of flashbangs to work with, along with a Molotov as well. Taco goes aggressive towards the monster tunnel, but nothing picked up just yet. We have got a stack fight, I believe, from the CT side. They'll drop down and reposition as a Legion code get towards shore.
Lige tries to make contact, backs off. Taco inside of the B site. Has to push all the way back toward the water. The smoke's down will isolate 2 players on the SK side, but 2 players too many because Cold still has vision, and vision is good enough for Cold if he gets through the gap of the smoke, which he pushes immediately and finds Twist. 2 straight pistols to SK, and we might have a much faster map 2 than we did in map 1.
Good lord, that was very nice indeed from Cold Zero. He really has turned up to this semi-final today. Finds his 17th kill. The attack in vain really from Liquid, no bomb planted. Decent smokes but gaps to be fair. Not to work over, that's the demise through them. Force buy from Liquid here. We have talked about them having more conservative approach in their second round force buys, but at this point you might as well go for it. Take a gamble with the CZs and the Deagles. They've got 1 flashbang to work with here. It's not ideal. And SK once again with that same setup, the 5 UMPs to work with. I'm definitely not a fan of this, but they run it time and time again and seem to make it work. I prefer the stance of having at least 2 rifles and have a bit of range and then rely on those UMPs for that extra utility you're missing out on.
JDM and Nitro to check positions. Clear out the corner, does Nitro, and then falls inside of the site. Stand with the pre-fire inside of the smoke as Fallen readies himself as a result of it. In fact, he may even try and take advantage of the fact that they pre-fired that smoke and go inside of it. He thinks better of it instead, stays forward at the garbage cans, the deposit, because Fur can back him up and he can control his position accordingly. Will be the UMP. He smokes, but that does leave just 1 remaining for Taco, who's on B, so no further on A. Lots of incendiaries though. Good shot, Nitro. Takes down Fur. Becomes a problem. He was dinked up through the wall, but at least falling out in the open. If they could get a trade, they can't. The smoke down will save him, but eventually they wrap around. Stan nearly snaps back fast enough to find Phelps. Look at this from Twist. Oh, he's got to go quickly because he's got company. Even still, he makes it work. Taco wasn't ready. If he could have found the second shot, I would have given him a bit of a chance.
Twist just had to bide his time and hope his teammates didn't drop around him. If he'd taken that kill, he might have saved one of his teammates and had a chance there, but by the time he struck, it was too late. The rotations had come through and nothing really worked out for Liquid. They get some decent trades there with the CZs at the very beginning, but that's all they'll get, and they can't really afford to do much this round, man. It's going to be 14-4, almost certainly. They got Glock, 4 players on that weapon, and Twist with the PT-50, no armor, no nades, and this is looking like it will be an SK finish, the logical conclusion. As we all said, getting into this one, sure. If Liquid have any chance in this series, they have to win Inferno. If they don't do that, we just thought it would be over. That'd be 2-0. But now we are going to see the 3rd map, and that's where things would get very, very exciting once again. That's when we'll see the series take a little bit more of a turn than what we saw in the first map.
Ooh, good play from Cold. Farm up some cash early. Try and close the gap to Fur. Actually, he's done so. Fur's yet to get a kill this half. Not we're that far into it, to be fair, but Cold. He's gotten quite a few. In fact, he's up to 21 from 14. You do the math. Make that 7, Henry.
Nice.
Make that 8. Make that 9.
No, I'm not going to get this one.
Such a pessimist, as always, Cold.
Oh!
Does get it in the end.
I built the excitement up.
Okay, sure. 4 kills overall in the round, though, for Cold Zero.
Well, here we go. Last chance saloon for the Liquid boys here on Overpass. If you're just joining us, the first semi-final of the day. We do have another one coming up, which will be more North American representation in the form of Cloud9 versus FaZe. That's coming up after this best of 3. Liquid, though, I'm going to say they're going to have to bounce back on Cobblestone, but not done just yet. It's not over until we reach 16 at the top, and there will be 5 AKs here available. An aggressive play from Fur, of course it is. This is his favorite way to play the game, getting in their faces and trying to find opening kills, but this time doesn't work out for him. JDM Of all the people, the AK-47 takes him down.
Stand backs off. The smoke gets redressed by Cold and Taco. Last ditch for Liquid to make a case for the comeback. Able to do that to SK in this tournament. What a storyline that would be as Taco goes aggressive. Elise trading back Cold 0 means they're still down by 1. And they'll go down further because Taco found by Nitro. Opens up the B site in its entirety. Phelps goes for the flank rotation instead. Fallen. Thinks about going all the way in. Doesn't even go toward the window. Takes the M4. Nearly gets a lineup on 2 of them. Still doing decent damage. As Nitro gets tagged down to 17. He's forced off by the Molotov. Phelps not even going to go back through the bottom stairwell towards short. He's going to go all the way around at T-spawn, and they'll try and pincer them in and get exit kills at this point in time. They've got a substantial lead. They don't need to force issues to win rounds. They just need to keep the economy low on Liquid's side.
Yeah, save these 2 weapons, give the M4s over to your fallen comrades. So you can actually buy up the AWP. This is always what we call a bonus situation. Keep Liquid modest as well by finding kills as they retreat from the bomb site there. There's Phelps taking down Nitro. It will be the first gun round going in favor of Liquid, but the game really begins in the second half when Fallen brings out the AWP. And we'll see that come out almost suddenly into the next round. And if Liquid can negate that, maybe we still have a game on our hands here on Overpass. 2 players do survive, and 3 for Liquid. Fallen will drop his M4 over, and the AWP start to come out here. JDM, I don't think he can afford one just yet, so I don't have that crutch to work with. But to be fair, Matt, he hasn't really had a chance here on Overpass. 2 kills in the first half, currently on 4 for 15, after having that superstar, heroic performance on Inferno to get them through that first map.
Incredible performance, to be fair. Matched by that of Cold Zero, who unfortunately didn't get the win, but Cold this time is now up to 24 kills. That gives him 66 in the series so far. JDM does get Fur back, so add 1 to his total. An important trade as well, having lost Twist, who continues to be consistent. Nitro, good to see him back in form. In-game leading this time. Unfortunately, his good form is not echoed by that of his whole team because although he's got 15 kills, they've got 5 rounds.
Yeah. Not good enough so far, but 4-on-4 technically does favor the T's here. You can see Fallen aware of that situation, trying to get the frag back in response. Teammate to his right. To be Phelps, but might not even need him. Nice shot, takes down JDM. They take the advantage once again. That's the bomb dropped.
Still wait behind the smoke. Fallen. Waits with the AWP. Nitro as well with Elise. We'll get ready to smoke off. Stan is well removed from all of this. And it lends to be peculiar because if Stan's hope is to force and lurk on the rotations, he's got a problem because they are aggressive at the bathrooms. As Phelps goes through and SK surrounds the bomb, Stan has no say in the argument. This goes to map point.
Yeah, this is an unwinnable round, unfortunately, for Stanislaw. Nice work by Phelps, though. That's very aggressive, pushing for the smoke with that 1 flashbang. Finds 2 of them. Locates the bomb. 10 seconds remaining, and Stan needs to make sure he survives here. He's in a safe position to do so, but Taco and Cold Zero are nearby. Pushing off, wall bang is coming through. Stan's starting to sweat a little bit, but he'll be absolutely fine. He will survive. Gets no money, won't be able to drop next round. And that is going to be quite a harsh reset as well. No money really whatsoever. 2K on Twist and Elise. And Nitro down to 3. They save the AK-47. They have the force. It's map point. 15-5. Lovely play there from Phelps. Really coordinated. Solid push there and a good spray control to finish things off as well. 2 AKs. CZ's Tech 9 to the UMP. Looking destined for that 3rd map, and that's where you'll see Team Liquid come back to life here. I assure you JDM as well will be posting a better performance. He's absolutely nuts on Cobblestone.
It's true. That's where this series comes to a logical conclusion that will be similar to Inferno. This is just a matter of procedure at this point in time. Lurpus made a good tweet. Lurpus being the man that's in between Thorn and Paul on the desk. That Lurpus made a good tweet that it was, of course, Astralis is probably sitting by wondering what if they'd played Overpass yesterday rather than Cash.
Why did they veto that?
I don't know.
But they did, to be fair, they won Cash. So I think that's in Mirage that maybe they should have vetoed that instead.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Either way, it is a situation by which Liquid have struggled. They've got the opening kill, but then falls back as Fur. Goes down, it's fallen to pull it around, and not only around once, he snaps back to the inside of the bathrooms and then back out to find Elige as well. Drops the bomb, brings Phelps into it. Elige down with Stan looking to get his revenge. Overlooks the fact that Phelps is peeking, and it's just JDM remaining. It's 16-5, it's convincing. Took a while on map 1 to end for Liquid to get the win this time. It's straightforward. SK, we force out Cobblestone.
Much better from SK Gaming, but quite disappointing from Liquid. You can see that wasn't really their map. They didn't really arrive whatsoever. The stars didn't really show up at all. JDM, after going completely bananas on Inferno, couldn't get anything going there whatsoever on Overpass. It's a map we'll probably forget after having such an amazing showing on Inferno, but Cobblestone, as we keep saying, Matt, we know it's going to be good, and I'm sure it's going to deliver on all fronts.
We'll take a break, join the desk, and see what they say looking forward, because not much to talk about what just happened. We'll see you in a minute.